So there you are. That was the latest episode of The Walking Dead. Kind of a chill, really chill episode. Which in most cases, of course, you'd be kind of frustrated. But given how many episodes we've had of The Walking Dead, like this is like episode number 6 now, right? No, sorry, 4. It feels like it, but how intense the last 3 episodes have been of The Walking Dead. I'm gonna give this one a pass just because we've needed to just chill out for a little bit. And it was kind of cool to see this backstory. There were some down moments and such, but it was okay. Overall, it was okay to learn the story of Eastman, the person that basically trained Morgan. And while we're in, I think, our heads, most of us really thought that it was going to be something like a really badass dude, very similar to the way Kenshin's master was, like, actually a little more superior than Kenshin. But I did like the way that this story was told with Morgan's master, or his teacher, basically, and learning Aikido, and just the overall turn of Morgan into the character we know now, to see what happened to him. Because it is very true, and I like the way they really threw back to a few seasons before to remind us about just how crazy and how badly Morgan was suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, or something like that, right? And so this part I thought was really good. And then on top of that, what I actually really applaud them in the fact that it was going to look like this was some sort of like typical montage type thing where we were going to get this like kind of pacifist Morgan through a montage, but he actually sank back into his older stressed out self, which I thought was brilliant in that sense. And in a way, it was because of his post-traumatic syndrome that caused Eastman's to get bit, which I sort of wish they did that a little bit better. It seemed a little weak the way they did that. It was kind of shitty the way they did that. Like, it seemed like there was like every other way he could have actually gotten him out of there. Like, just pulled him back. All you have to do is pull Morgan back just a little bit or something, right? But that was weird. That was very weird. There was one other thing I was going to say. I was hoping that they could have. I wish they sort of did his final moments a little bit better. Like, I thought would have been kind of cool if they actually showed Eastman passing during the sunset while Morgan was actually performing and training and such. To kind of see like those were his lasting moments, so to speak, maybe, or something like that. But it was fine, kind of fine, kind of standard, the way The Walking Dead does those passing scenes with the tombstones and things like that. But overall, it was okay. It was well done. So let's go ahead and move on to the question of the video. Let's go. And today's question of the video is going to be fully focused on Eastman. There was actually, I came up with the fastest question of the video I've ever done. It was conceived at that moment. It was just Eastman's philosophy, Eastman's entire philosophy, what's going on with him, the fact that Michael Crichton, whatever that dude's name, right? John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. He killed, so he ends up killing his entire family, and basically went back to jail, things like that. At that time, the question of the video really was going to be like, do you believe in his principles? Because that shit was too much. And I was raging at that time. I was like, man, fuck the principles. I would have taken that full out. Thus, he did. So, I can't really say that's going to be the question of video anymore. So this time around, let's go ahead and think of something else instead about those principles. Do you believe, is anybody out there actually practicing Aikido? Do you believe that all life is precious? That's going to be the question of the video today. Do you believe that, like Aikido means not to kill, do you believe that all life is precious? Personally, I would like to believe that, but in this world of The Walking Dead, I will say no. I will say that no, because we've been seeing in this apocalypse and the way with The Walking Dead and Fear of the Walking Dead is just people start to resort back to this really kill for kill primitive state, and it's really easy. It's kind of sad for me in the Walking Dead world. It's kind of sad to me to see how easily things unfolded and how easily society crumbled, which might be exactly what would happen, because society is only as strong as the people that make it. A government is only a make-believe sort of set of rules that our people are choose to follow if they want to follow it. When people stop following that, there's nothing that will hold the government in place. So in the world of The Walking Dead, I believe that all life is not precious, and I'm more on the side of Rick and Carol, but it just sucks if you happen to be on that wrong side. In the real world, I do want to believe that all life is precious, but I believe that sometimes for the greater good and to protect other people's lives, some people need to exit this world because for whatever mentally unbalanced, or just like he was saying, there's the criminally insane. There are just some people that's all they know how to do, and I will protect my own life well before protecting a crazy man's woman. Something very interesting to think about, right? When I walk around Japan quite often, I'm always checking, because out here, especially out here, because it's not a big thing about guns, it's basically just knives and people concealing. There's a lot of concealed weapons and people walking around. People just fucking snap, and you never know. There's always things in the news about these dudes that go into elementary schools and just start slicing up kids and stabbing them and shit. And it's just like, yo, wait a second. So on the train, they just flip. So I'm always checking people on trains every day. When someone walks a little too close to me, I always back up a bit, because you just never know when somebody's gonna flip. And if you're too busy texting on the phone, there was a video I saw just the other day about a woman that in China, just this crazy dude just started stabbing her, and because she was on her phone, she wasn't she didn't know what was going to happen. She didn't even know what was happening. When she tried to escape, she couldn't, and nobody did anything. It's just, so maybe, you know what, I changed my status. No, not all life is precious. That motherfucker needed to go. And if I was around, I would really hope that I would have the courage and the strength to stand up to something like that's going on. I honestly can't even tell you what I would do at that moment. It'd be very, it'd be very common to say, oh, I wouldn't let that shit happen. But when that's happening at that moment in time, especially if you don't understand the language fully or the situation that's going down, yeah, I really don't know if I had my backpack on me, some sort of protection or something, who really would step in? Is life really all that precious? Life is all precious, but how many people can actually go in untrained to protect it? Thought-provoking question today. All right, guys. Well, until next week, we're gonna probably they're gonna really pick it up next week when everybody's back together again. So thank you for checking out this reaction. Oh, and next week, I guess, almost yeah, in about a week or so, I'm going to actually be attending the Fox Walking Dead 4DX. I believe it's a form of like a 4DX presentation of The Walking Dead. They did one last month when The Walking Dead first started, and they're gonna have a few more now going on this, I believe, yes, oh, on the 15th. So actually we got a few, on the 15th. I'm going on the 15th of November to The Walking Dead 4DX thing, and I'll let you know how it goes. It might be the mid-season finale, probably. I think in all likelihood it probably will be, right? Because November 15th, maybe. Because usually Walking Dead, I think, goes on break before Christmas starts up and comes back in February. So, maybe. You guys, let me know about that. Alright? Peace. It's like watching my two ex-girlfriends fight. You don't break them that. Oh!
Nailed it.